Are we rolling? Yes, we are. What's up, guys? It's Earl, McKinley, Crain here, and today I'm going to be doing my spoiler-free movie review of a movie that I saw a little over a week ago, which was the 2015 comedy drama Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. And yes, I'm aware of its completely bizarre title. Yeah, it does. This movie does have a really weird title. And it's the kind of like movie title that you don't forget. Like you never look back on this movie after you see it and go, "Wait, what was that movie about about like the cancer patient and like the her friend called? What was it called?" No, you know you're never gonna forget what it's called, because how could you forget a name like a movie title like Me and Earl and the Dying Girl? Anyway, this movie stars Thomas Mann as Greg, who's like a high schooler who I think is my age, who is like just kind of, he's not depressed, but he's like unmotivated. He's a very unmotivated person. And he's also kind of a very awkward person. He's the kind of kid who like doesn't have that many friends, but has a heck of a lot of acquaintances. And I can actually relate. Um so yeah, he has no enemies, but he doesn't have that many friends. But he does have some friends, like but most of the people like in his life are just acquaintances. Um, and his one friend is named Earl, and he's played by R.J. Seiler or Kyler, or however you pronounce his last name. And he's been Greg's childhood friend for a long time, like for years. And he's actually rarely in this film. He's in this film, but like he's not as much in this film as you would expect him to be. Like you would expect him to be like more in the film because his name is in the title, but he's actually only in the film for like, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Because most of the time is dedicated to Greg and another character's relationship slash friendship. And I'm getting to that. Anyway, so one day Greg finds out from his mom that one of his classmates has cancer, and so his mom is just like, "I'm gonna force you to go over and be this person's friend because they're dying of cancer, and they deserve friendship." And so of course Greg goes over to this person's house, and this person is Rachel, who's played by Olivia Cook. And just to be honest, if you want to get really accurate, like the title of this movie should have been Me, the Dying Girl, and Earl, because the dying girl Oh, whether or not she dies in this movie, I can't tell you, because that would obviously be a spoiler, so I'm not going to tell you. I put quotations around the dying girl because they don't actually call her the dying girl in this movie. I think they call her like the dying girl. I think the main character calls her the dying girl once or twice. But like, they just, she's mostly just called, she's pretty much almost always called Rachel in this movie. And she has leukemia. She's been diagnosed with leukemia. And, like Greg, she's very unmotivated. She's a very unmotivated person. And, so basically, Greg is forced to be her friend. And, they actually, start to become friends and stuff like that. And, then Earl starts, hanging out with her too. And, this whole movie is, based around the friendship between Greg and Rachel. And, no, this is not a romantic movie at all. There's, no romance in this movie at all. It's just a purely friendship. Anyway, I love this movie. It was a very touching movie. It was a very witty movie. It had a lot of witty dialogue, a lot of witty humor. Non-offensive the humor in this movie is non-offensive, by the way. I feel like I have to put that out there because, I don't want somebody to just assume that, the humor in here is mean because of the fact that this movie, it has a lot of touchy stuff in there. Has a lot of touchy stuff in it, my bad. Anyway, the humor is non-offensive. It's not mean at all. And it's great. It's great humor. It's very witty humor, It's very, cleverly written. It's funny humor. It's just relatable humor. And it's awesome humor. And, I love this movie. It's great. It's emotional. There are a whole bunch of emotional moments. And those all work. I love the chemistry between all of the characters, especially Greg and Rachel, who are played by Thomas Mann and Olivia Cooke. Their chemistry is the best in the whole movie. Although, every single character's chemistry in this movie is with another character is great. It's just that the chemistry between Greg and Rachel happens to be my favorite. Anyway, the story is great. It's very No, it's not predictable at all. I meant to say unpredictable. Sorry, I meant to say unpredictable. I don't know what happened with my mind and my mouth, but the opposite word came out. This is a very unpredictable movie. It kind of, you kind of think that one thing is going to happen, and then, you don't think it's going to happen, and then you think it is going to happen, and then you change your mind. It's that kind of movie. It makes you change your mind about what you think is going to happen. And, it's great. It's great. It benefits the story. And, this movie is very well edited, very well paced. Nothing wrong with the pacing, nothing wrong with the editing. This isn't a masterpiece. It's not a perfect movie, but it is a great movie. And there's nothing wrong with this movie at all. It's a great movie. It's a very touching movie. It's got very relatable characters in it, and very likable characters, very lovable characters. And it's got characters that you actually care about. You actually care what happens to them. This movie makes you care about what happens to them, and it's just great. It's just a great movie. It's got a great cast. The acting is great. It's not superb, because that would make it perfect. But, Actually, it is superb, because superb just means great, not perfect. Yeah, the acting in this film is superb. Um, just everything about this movie is great. Not perfect, but great. And I just really love this movie. And I love this movie has like a lot of strange and unique, like weird in a good way kind of elements in it, like just humor. Like a lot of the humor in here is weird in a good way, and aka strange, aka unique. Um, and a lot of just the way they tell the story is also like that, and I love that. It makes this movie more interesting, and just it makes it a better movie. And I love this movie. It's a great movie, and it's it's a it's a very entertaining watch. Anyway, I'm gonna give this movie an 86% out of 100%, which is the equivalent of an A minus. Like, subscribe, join the notification squad. I will return.